Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot more information regarding Red Dead Redemption 2 because of all the previews that have been released today. So starting off with story, Red Dead Redemption 2 revolves around the fall and fracture of the gang. It focuses heavily on player choice for the story and missions, and I quote, "We try to give you options within a lot of these missions to choose how you approach it, whether you send in your buddies first or whether you go in first yourself." End quote. It's a player choice how Arthur can interact with the gang. He can hunt and explore alone, or he can keep the camp fed and supplied. This does however change how your gang looks at you. If you keep them well fed, the morale is a lot higher, and I would personally assume that it would mean that your gang is much more willing to help you out with stuff or give you more missions or more jobs so you can make more cash. And for those worried right now hearing that, Rockstar has said that they're not going to turn this into a whole, keeping up with the family simulator, so I don't think we have to worry about that. Knowing Rockstar, there's going to be a good balance in that as well. If you remember Red Dead Redemption 1, I guess we can refer it to, there were certain types of those missions as well at the start of the game. When it comes to like the Bonnie McFarlane missions where you did something like that, they weren't the greatest missions, but they were, I guess, important within the story. Interacting with the gang can earn job and mission invites. It's unknown at the moment if these choices that you make with the whole feeding and whatnot, and just choices you make in general, because there's going to be a lot of those, if they will affect the story and also gameplay. But cutscenes can change depending on how Arthur helps the gang. So again, keeping your gang happy and just well fed and all that stuff is going to be a very important thing. But you don't actually have to do that, I suppose, in order to progress with the game, as far as what I'm reading from it. Between Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, it's a companion piece. Rob Nelson, co-studio head of Rockstar North, says they exist together, they're connected. There's a lot of connective tissue between the two stories and a lot of characters that you've seen before that you will see again. Obviously, this is John Marston and Javier Escuela, if I'm probably butchering that wrong, and obviously Bill Williamson and all those people that were named within Red Dead Redemption are obviously going to make a return. There's a bunch more other characters as well, but it doesn't mean that you actually have to play the first Red Dead Redemption in order to understand the story, because it's technically a standalone game from the original Red Dead Redemption. But obviously if you played the original Red Dead Redemption, I'm assuming that everything is going to make a lot more sense. Also returning from GTA 5 and Max Payne 3 is that there's no breaks between gameplay and cutscenes. Everything just flows into each other, which just really helps with the whole immersion, of course. And then moving on to Arthur, here's something that a lot of people, myself included, are going to be very, very happy about, because Arthur is going to be the only playable character. There's no multiple characters spotted. Rockstar themselves also has confirmed that they just want to focus on Arthur and just his character, which in my eyes is fantastic. I think Rockstar has done a much better job with other games doing so. This way it can go back to what we're used to from Rockstar. We have a strong main character and side characters that we can just, enjoy their company of, rather than, I guess, kind of getting annoyed on because we have to play with them. Arthur is the right-hand man of Dutch, which means that he's a very important person within the gang. He can interact with every character he comes across, and he can also be customized. Clothing changes and facial hair changes have been spotted throughout the demo as well, so that would also of course explain the beard that Arthur has within the artwork that was released on Monday. Then the world. Your camp is your home base, a living and breathing community with fellow gang members, etc. I guess this can be like the central hub of where everything is going to start and end, I suppose. It does make sense, it's basically your hideout, everything along those lines. As you've seen in the trailer as well, suddenly lawmen show up to that base, and it doesn't look like a place you would just pack up and leave real quick. Obviously, as its story progresses, this might change, but it's also definitely something that I personally would see return into a multiplayer. For those wondering, no, there are no multiplayer details as of now, which obviously makes sense. Just always start off with focusing on single player stuff, and then as we get closer to release, they're probably going to release a lot more details on that as well. The wildlife is rich. There have been birds, deer, fireflies, bears, rabbits seen in this demo as well. This is obviously, we've seen a lot of that stuff inside of trailers and screenshots and all that good stuff, so it's definitely not too surprising to me. I mean, obviously with Red Dead Redemption there was a lot of wildlife already, so they're definitely just gonna build upon that, which is obviously a good thing. Deadeye is making a return, and then the map is a large world sprawling with snowy wastelands in the north to swamps in the south with city in between. It's the biggest and most dense map in all of Rockstar's games, and also has handcrafted locations such as a burned forest and an abandoned settlement. One scene in the demo showed that people were working to put up a wall for a new ranch, to which Rockstar said that it could eventually turn into a finished house. Which personally, I mean, if you remember GTA 5 with the Mile High Club, it never was finished, but it would have been really cool if you, at least in the story, would see that being built further and further as the story progresses. Hopefully this is something that they're going to do with the world. They have mentioned as well that as the railroad grows, it will connect more towns as well, which to me just sounds like from the start of the game to the end of the game, the world is just going to be evolving all the time. So you're going to have a completely different world at the start of the game as you will have at the end of the game, which is just going to make the main character of every single Rockstar game even a more important role, which is obviously the world. Another tiny thing is that the circular HUD returns, so we're not going to go back to a square HUD like we had in GTA 5. And then touching on the horse a bit more, which is going to be a major part of the game apparently, because the horses have been vastly improved. Your horse is your companion rather than your transport, because like you had in Red Dead Redemption, it was just kind of like a throwaway thing. You threw it off a cliff, it's like, alright, whatever, I'll just whistle a new one. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2, Arthur can actually bond with his mount. You can calm it when it's agitated, you can feed it, you can start grooming it. A strong bond with your horse can result into a much calmer personality as well. Untrained horses are unpredictable, and horses stay put when dismounting. Another nice thing about those horses as well is that they can carry supplies and larger weapons. So for example, when you go out hunting, Arthur can tie his trophies to his horse and skin them first, but if you leave them for too long after skinning, the meat will rot. Different horse breeds will also have different personalities, reacting to the environment and situations differently, which is another nice detail as well from Rockstar's part. Obviously, after a few days, everyone's gonna figure out which one is the best one and just ditch everything else, because that's how gamers work. We want the best thing, and that's it. GTA Online races anyone? And on some tiny little detail for those who own an Xbox One and the PS4 Pro, Rob Nelson of Rockstar North has confirmed that Red Dead Redemption 2 will support Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. Details on improvements and all that stuff are not yet available as of now, so that's more than likely something that they're still either working on or trying to find the right time to announce it for. If you want a personal take on this, all this information is sounding very juicy. It's sounding like it's shaping up to be a fantastic game. I'm dying to play it and hear more about it. Speaking of hearing more about it, tomorrow IGN is going to launch another interview with Rockstar on their website. I don't know precisely when they're going to release that. I haven't said anything about a time, but I'm assuming it's going to be 3 PM UK again. If there's anything that is worth mentioning, I'll obviously be doing another video on that, so look out for that. Turn on the notifications every time I upload a video. You get one of those notifications. Sub boxes don't always work, so if you want to stay tuned for more Red Dead Redemption 2 info and all that juicy stuff, stay tuned to the channel. There is much more to come. But anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, hit the notification bell as well, and I'll see you all later.